All right, this is a newsworthy, oh no, noseworthy day. It's a good news day. How I battled melanoma by giving up my nose to save my life.
That is true.
There you go. So, well, the nose is this is a serious story, and I want to. And you look gorgeous. You look marvelous, said Billy Crystal.
With my fake nose, thank you.
Well, if that's a fake nose, then who's your surgeon?
Well, UCLA were the people that made my noses, and I'm on my 4th set of noses because this started 10 years ago, and I've gotten better at asking for exactly what I want, and they've gotten better at being able to do it. So yeah.
Your nose has made changes over the years.
Yes, it has.
Minor changes. Well, does this fall under? We'll get to the serious part in a moment. Does this fall under plastic surgery? Is that what they call this?
No, they call it prosthodontics.
Prosthodontics. It's not like dental work.
Because they are all trained dentists who are masters at prosthesis, which usually means your dental work, your implants and your prosthetics in your mouth, your false teeth. But they've expanded.
You caught me.
The art and science of that to mean parts of the face, and they do fake ears, and they do eyes, and for soldiers who have lost facial parts in battle, and people like me who have lost facial parts to cancer. So it's quite an art and a science.
I'm just coming from my ophthalmologist. I'm going to have cataracts, but I got a sty and they can't do it, and this and that. It's all connected. And I had, like you had some sinuses as a child concern, right, too?
I still do. I've had allergies all my life.
I used to grow up on Tristan. I used to say,
I remember Tristan.
I said, oh, my mom and my eyebrows hurt. My eyebrows hurt. Wow. So now let's talk melanoma, because actually I have melanoma too. So I had in situ, they call it, melanoma on my back and on my arm. And boy, is that a scary thing. And it continues to be, I'll say.
They watch you like.
They watch me. I watch me. My grandkids saved me because they saw me with a black mark on my back in the pool, and they made fun of me in a typical grandparent kid's way. And then my daughter heard and said, "Pops, dermatologist time." So tell me about you, because it's your show here, and it's Noseworthy, How I Battle Melanoma by Giving Up My Nose, Saved My Life. So and thank you for coming out to talk about this, because melanoma, my mother even had melanoma, and she used to get her forehead scraped. As horribly sounding it is. So how did they discover the melanoma, and tell us your tale?
Well, I'll give you the more Hollywood version of the long version. Many years ago, wow, now it's probably been 15 years. I had something on my nose, and I went to the doctor, and I thought it was suspicious, and he said, "Oh no, it's just scarring." And I'm like, scarring from what? I didn't do anything to my nose. Oh, put this gel on it, it'll be fine, you'll be fine. And I didn't like that answer, and I asked my doctor for another dermatologist, had to push a little on that. Long story short, that dermatologist biopsied it, found what she thought, what everyone believed at the time, was 2 different forms of cancer, basal cell and squamous cell carcinoma, that, both for some weird reason, but not melanoma. And I went and had the Mohs. Are you familiar with the Mohs technique? They take a little piece off, and then they examine the edges under a microscope so they don't have to take a big chunk of your face. And then they take more if they see more, if they don't have clean margins. It's a whole procedure. So they did that. They did a little bit of plastic surgery to kind of patch me up. And I went on with my life, and my nose was never quite right. And spots started to appear. And the next dermatologist said, "Oh, it's just freckling from the scar." And that got worse. And then people started saying, you have dirt on your nose, you have chocolate on your nose, you have ink on your nose. And it's like, yet another dermatologist, because during this time, my job changing insurance companies, you know, it just wasn't, I wasn't seeing one person the whole time. So I went to finally somebody new, and he said, let's biopsy that again. And that's when they discovered what they originally thought was an in situ, just like yours, in situ, not a big deal, we'll do another Mohs. Well, when they went in to do the Mohs, they kept going deeper and deeper and deeper, and they couldn't go any deeper. Doing that procedure sent me to a head and neck surgeon. And he's the one who said, I can take chunks of your nose, we can keep going at it over the course of years, but if we miss any piece of it, then we'll be planning how you spend your remaining time.
I called it a nose hanger because that's part one. Now we're into part two. All right, let's get to, wow, what a time. You had me on the edge. You know, you writers, you know, in addition to being the subject of your book, I know you're a serious writer. So now, what happened?
Well, where did you lose me?
It's just the nose of, I think I left you, and it was like a perfect spot to have it go to the technology froze. And I believe your neck doctor said, you better take off the whole schmagegi.
Yes, the head and neck doctor says if you want to be alive in 5 years, the best way to guarantee it is to take the whole nose.
There, that's what he said. All right, well, that's what Groucho said too. So I love your book because you have a good sense of humor. That's why I'm going to fool around just a little. Because that book that has even a little bit of comedy in it, a little cursing-ish,
oh, yes.
to me, is real. So you said to the neck doctor, what? No, what did you say?
Well, I was numb. I was shocked. I was speechless. I was speechless. That is a very rare thing. And, you know, we just took in everything he said, and we went down to the street, and frankly, the two of us stood there and cried. It's like, oh my God.
I'm with your husband, Paul?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, he was with me in every doctor appointment, every meeting.
You dedicated this book to this guy.
Yes, I did.
But I still don't understand why the cats and the dogs own you, but we'll get to that later. For my, what's this word? A-I-T-C-H-Y. Did you make up the word?
H-E. No, it's the word H. It's the letter H.
It's the letter H, spelled H-E.
Yes. A-I-T-C-H.
Paul Caplan-Bennett. Okay.
Correct.
You are my best friend, man of my dreams, love of my life. You are my soft place to land and my strong rock on which to lean. I would never have survived this journey intact without you by my side. I love you so very much, Barbara Caplan-Bennett. What else is there to say? A good man. So you both cried and decided to do what?
There really wasn't any choice. I was not going to risk the possibility that we would not get all melanoma. You just don't screw around with. And we're all vain to a certain point, but not for me. I wasn't vain enough to give up my life for it. And you know, what choice did I have? I wanted to be around in 5 years. I was only 57 at the time. So, you know, 57 is young to say, all right, I'm ready. If I had been 80, I might have said, I don't know. If I'd have been 90, but 57, I wasn't ready to throw in the towel yet. And if that was the best way to get rid of this nasty melanoma, that was what I had to do. And it is what I did. And the funny thing is, to jump forward 10 years, I really don't give a rat's ass now that I don't have a nose. I mean, it's not fun. If I could have my nose back, I would do it in a heartbeat, but it makes, my life has gone on. I have moved on and I deal with it every day, but here I am.
Well, let me ask you, I'm going to ask you if you don't mind, then you don't have to answer, but so technically, can you breathe through that man-made nose?
Breathe through it. Yes, it's got holes in it. And I breathe.
It looks perfect. You look beautiful. You look marvelous, said Billy Crystal.
Thank you. So everybody asks me, do I still have a sense of smell? And yes, I do. A very, very sensitive sense of smell. I smell everything.
Really?
Really. I always have had, though.
Well,
your smell glands are.
But you had a regular nose.
Yes, but your scent glands are inside the nasal cavity near the top.
Uh-huh.
So when I take my prosthetic off, you know, I have a big hole in my face. When I take my prosthetic off, if I have to smell something, I hold it up here.
This is life. L'chaim. This is to life, because you got to move forward, you got to go on, and you got to make the most of it, and you got to be darn happy you still can breathe. And you
Absolutely.
can still breathe through not even your own nose. You is a lucky person.
I am. And I want to add something. The fact that I'm totally okay with this now, 10 years down the road, I do not want to diminish in any way, especially for others who are facing it or who have gone through it. It was hell. I mean, going through those first couple of years and adjusting to it, and I didn't get my prosthetics for 10 months. So I was wearing this monster thing on my face. It was horrible. It was not something I would wish on my worst enemy, but I said that about where I am now because I want people to know and understand that with enough time and grace and loving friends and family and support, you can be okay.
Okay, that's good news. We like good news. That's a good thing. That's great. That's fantastic. And the face happens to be one of those places that everybody kind of looks at. You know, it's it's a naked part of your body that is the gateway to your whole being to a degree, right?
Right.
And that way?
And it's so visible, although right now the irony, of course, is with my mask on, nobody knows if I have a nose or not, you know, when I got my face mask on. But it was and I said this, talk about this, it's somewhat in the book, you know, we all know people that have lost breasts and lungs and, you know, different parts of the body. I know one gentleman who had testicular cancer. You know, you lose body parts and it's very traumatic, but most of it is hidden from the world unless you lose a limb. And this is the most prominent feature by which people identify you.
Oh.
So it was, I couldn't hide from it, you know, you can't.
I interviewed
it's there for everybody to see.
A famous doctor. And I'd say, I don't know, we call him a spiritual leader. His name is Dr. Bernie Siegel. Maybe you've heard of him. Dr. Bernie Siegel wrote a lot of famous books. In the old day, he was very renowned, okay? And when I interviewed him, he was from Yale doctor, but he had his own practice. And he's pushing love. And he'd write on his pad, a lot of love, you know, that would be the medicine for. But as I interviewed him just recently for our World Peace Day concerts and stuff, Bernie said the following about one thing. He said, if you put a Band-Aid on your face, 10 people will come up to you and say, what happened? Okay? Because it is that kind of a thing. Plus, then they'll also, he said, this is an interesting comment. I wonder if you felt this, that they will then feel relaxed or comfortable enough to say, you know, I one time broke my jaw, or I one time, you know, did X, Y, Z. Did that ever happen to you?
Well, yes. First of all, before I got my prosthetic, when I was in bandages, strangers thought I'd been in an accident or I'd gotten my nose done. And people would say to me sort of conspiratorially, who's your doctor? You know, this is Hollywood. Who's your doctor? And it actually used to really piss me off, because a nose job is something you choose to do to improve to make you more comfortable with your appearance. What I went through was not a choice and was not anything that was going to lead me to something better. And I really struggled with that. And of course, the irony is I did have a nose job years ago. So the nose I lost wasn't technically my original nose. So
now we're getting to the nitty gritty of the whole thing.
Nitty-gritty. Yes. So that's, but yes, people, when I went back to work and I had the prosthetic, and people, you know, that I work with, or my clients who I'm a stranger to them, and they would see something, they all had stories about, my mother had melanoma, my sister had melanoma, my cousin had melanoma, and they all wanted to share their stories and know about mine. So yes, to answer your question.
You feel that you got your melanoma? I mean, you know, you're younger than me, but you know, we were stupid. I'll speak for myself. Stupid sun sitters, baby oil and iodine.
Oh, yep. Cocoa butter,
aluminum foil,
the metal things that you hold up. Yeah.
Make them up ourselves. Convertible tops. I used to burn like you know, white skinned, burned to bits. I mean, you know, it would flake off me.
Oh, you
know,
peel. The fun thing was peeling the skin off of your burn.
God, I don't know. It's a terrible scenario, but well, you lived through it all. You've written a good book that a lot of people can actually gain a lot of confidence, I will say.
Thank you. Thank you.
And take on a challenge, whether it's a nose scenario or any part of your body, because every time, every situation is a challenge. My feet, they hurt now. So it's a challenge. Why do you get numb? I don't know why I went numb. Nobody else can figure it out either. So it is what it is. Well, thank you. Let me ask you one last question. I enjoyed the conversation. Thank you, Rena Khan, our board member and a good friend. We talk about peace a lot because we're into world peace. And I ask a lot of people, what does peace mean to them? So Barbara Caplan-Bennett, what does peace mean to you, if you care to share?
Personal peace or world peace?
You can go on either account or both, whatever you feel.
Personal peace to me is having no regrets, in terms of knowing I'm doing the best I can as a human being for the people around me, for the strangers I encounter, for the world at large. That brings me peace. I am only distraught about things when I feel like either I've messed up, I've screwed up, I've been bad to somebody, I said something I shouldn't have said. My own personal peace is based pretty much on my being the best human being I can be. And I would like to think that that's true for most people. And I hope that we see that in the days that come, because we're going to need a lot of people to be the best human beings they can be.
We always do, and we always will. That's beautiful. Well, thank you very much. But I think I'm going to ask you just, huh?
Can I put in a plug?
Of course. And let me, do you mind if I held up the book when you put in the plug?
Yes, please hold up the book. If you want an autographed copy,
oh, nice.
Email me at noseworthy2020@gmail.com. It's also available on Amazon.
Perfect. And we have that in the text that you shared with us.
Oh, great.
I just want to ask one thing, though.
Sure.
Are you, because I found it if I read the word, I have to even get my magnifying glass out, especially after my eye doctor, okay? And I'm going to read this. She lives in Chatsworth, California with her husband, Paul, and they are owned by Katz, Williams and Bennett, and Kathy the Wonder Dog. Now, is that a typo, or who's running the show? I think that's my question.
Well, right now, the one who's really running the show is our cat, William. He's very old. He's not well. Oh. He requires a lot of attention. And if the lights are out and I'm drifting off and he starts howling, I get up out of bed and go check to see if he's okay. Has he gotten into any trouble? So we're owned by them in terms of, you know, I have to medicate him every day. He requires a lot of care. The dog, you know, you can't say no to a dog. When they have to go out, they have to go out. The dog owns you there, the cat owns you there. So in that sense, yes, we are owned by 2 cats and a dog.
I love it. I love it. Send me a picture of them. I'm going to put it on also, if you care to.
What's that?
Send me a picture of the cats and dog.
Oh, I would love to. There's a great picture of the 5 of us.
They got to get theirs too.
Absolutely.
And they're running the house. If they don't, they might, you know, who knows what's going to have your sofa for dinner. All right, I'll see you later. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Paul.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.